This is the 4th year. You averaged 20 last year. 20. No, actually, you averaged 24 last year. 22 the year before that. This is your 4th year in the NBA. And you've been cut 2 times?
What's Jordan Poole's perception?
Don't matter. He got his bag.
What's his perception?
24, and they be like,
was his perception? Say it again, Brad.
I've never seen nobody average 22.
No, this is the only person ever in the NBA.
I've never seen that in the NBA.
What?
I've never seen nobody that averaged 22 or 24 get sent home twice.
Cam Thomas, do not get entitled to anything, brother. And I'm saying this as somebody that's a supporter. I don't come up here and hope for anybody to fail. But it is now time to look in the mirror, Cam Thomas. It is now time to ask yourself, how bad do you want this? It's time to evolve. You are still young enough and great enough to do so. Nobody that can come into that league and score 25 points in any sample size can't figure this out. You are more than capable and more than able of figuring this out. You have a fresh slate. You and your team get to pick wherever you want to go. And it said that it was rumored to have some suitors, and some of those suitors are playoff teams. There's no better stage than going to a playoff team and showing that you can buy in, do little things, because I'm not expecting you to ever stop anybody, but I am expecting you to be able to communicate and hold your ground and not be a cone, and then make the extra pass, make the proper reads. And then I'm telling you, everybody know what you can do, Cam.
Cam Thomas gets cut again. Get waived by the bus, traded by the Brooklyn Nets. So obviously there's something else going on with Cam Thomas. I've been knew that. There's some character flaws there. And what people forget when you and check out the NBA Talk playlist, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. It's because people forget when you talk about the NBA, it's still a place of employment. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? You might not look at it as a traditional place of employment, but once you start, adding something to the recipe that ain't in there, or an ingredient that ain't in there, and you start causing issues, or you start, you don't respect authority, who knows what the situation may be. And I'm glad. I hope they don't leak out what the situation may be. But people in the league know if he hard to coach, he don't listen, he might have a habit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it may be. But most of the thing is probably just being a fucking adult, being professional, and that's a little bit hard to do because most of these guys ain't never had a job. You know what I'm saying? Most of these guys ain't never clocked in. Most of these kids, they really ain't, go outside and play bikes and learn how to socialize. They don't know how to talk to people. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things, and I say this all the time in some of these videos when I'm talking about the NBA and the 65 game rule, you learn respect from your father. You learn discipline from the father of the house. That's who shows you respect and discipline, the grandfather, not to keep your elbows on the table, while you eating. You know what I'm saying? That's who shows you, you know what I'm saying? How to really be that, be a man, bro. That's who shows you. That's who shows you. And and who knows, professionalism, being punctual, being on time, learning how to communicate, learning how to speak to people. I'm pretty sure, and I could be hella off, but I'm pretty sure I'm in the ballpark. In the ballpark of it, being coachable, being teachable, taking criticism. And you should be learning that when you're a teenager or a little bit younger. Most times when you see women take criticism, they shut down. You have to unlearn that. You have to unlearn it. And people see this tremendous talent that can score at will. On the court, you got to do more than just score. You got to rebound. You got to play team ball. You got to pass the ball. You got to move without the basketball, create space, run plays, be able to play basketball, play without the basketball. And you're noticing that's becoming an issue. That's becoming the issue in the NBA. That's becoming an issue in the NBA. And that's crazy. That's becoming a huge issue. And you couple that all in, man, and I'm telling y'all, this generation is starting to reflect the single mother era. This generation is starting to reflect the single mother era, bro. You starting to see, you know, men talk slick and don't think it's consequence. See, when a woman can talk slick to a man to give her a pass, most men to give her a pass and not do nothing. But you as a man, young man, you talk slick, most dudes gonna bust you in your shit after a while when you don't show respect or nothing like that. You don't respect authority. You want to do stuff how you want to do it. When you go on a job, that's the quickest way to find yourself out the job. You question the authority and you don't have no years in, you don't know how to do the process. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Don't know how to be punctual, don't know how to dress well, come smell well, don't smell like weed. I'm not saying that's none of the things that he doing. We only can assume. It's probably simple as being on time. Come on, man. That team, when you clock in, you know, you seeing stuff on like YouTube, we're only clocked in a minute or 2 or 3 minutes late. They still gonna dock me or they still gonna give me a point? Absolutely, bruh. Absolutely. The job market, man, what set you apart on the job market is actually, man, half the battle is being on time. The other half of the battle is, or part of the battle is taking pride in your work. Yeah, you know, I say this all the time. Yeah, you might be like, man, I don't want to be here. I want to work at Burger King or McDonald's. It's a start. You never know who watching you while you doing your job. You never know who's watching. That's the wild thing about it. You never know who's watching. You never know who's watching you. And you look, and this guy can start his own burger joint and make you the manager. Or you got such a good track record when they call for attendance and consistency. Somebody might be like, man, you may not be qualified in the job, but I'll talk to your reference, your manager, your coworkers, and they say you pick up on stuff fast, you always show up, you consistent. You're consistent. Come on now. Come on now. And a lot of these dudes, they don't have that. A lot of this shit you get from your father, the structure, the discipline, the ability to come to work and work while your ass is hurt, work while you barely can't move or walk. That's what real men do. So many times you got so many people talking about what a real man is. You know, a real man sacrifice. What did he say? A real, you know, what a real gangster is? What he said in the movie was a real man is a man that goes to work to do a job every day that he hates to provide for his family. You know what I'm saying? So Cam Thomas, you know, at the end of the day, he already got a strike against him. He black. Now you added another strike, you got a reputation. But you know, people in the comment section, they condone this shit. Well, you know, if Jamal Crawford was in this, they would be off. No, it ain't got nothing to do with his game, bro. It might have a smidgen with him not being a team player, not getting assists or rebounds, not defending. You know what I'm saying? But on top of that, if you're not listening, right? If you're not listening, if you're not coachable, you're not on time, you don't have, you're not teachable. What you mean? You were out your welcome. You ain't been in Milwaukee half a year, half a season. But the one thing about it that you always see is somebody somewhere gonna condone this. And I leave off on this. I remember the Ja Morant shit. People was mad what I said about Ja Morant. Bro, when you've been around the sun a couple times, bro, well, you know, this guy did this and this guy, and guess what? Look at him, destroyed his career. Fucking idiot. Y'all be thinking it's cute, but I know how these dudes' mind work, bro. I know how and I was spot on. You gotta nip that shit in the butt, and then he still didn't learn his damn lesson. He still didn't walk away from the game for that time he was suspended, come back, hurt his shoulder, and guess what? He still didn't come back where I missed the game and I loved it. He came back beefing with the organization. I've been in that phase where it's the world's fault. It's the world's fault. Ain't none of this. And once you look in the mirror and you take accountability, even if it's situations that you deem anybody can deem that it wasn't your fault, and you look in the mirror and say, this is what and you look in the mirror first, say, I could have did this better, I could have did that better, I could have spotted that first. Your life gonna change, man. Your life's gonna change. But if you the first thing you do when you go through a situation is harp on and point the finger and harp on somebody else, no matter how fucked up they did you gotta be like, I shouldn't even let that motherfucker in my life. That's what you gonna say. I'm telling you. Once you start taking accountability that it was on me, I gotta do this better first, and then go down the line, life is gonna change. But it's always somebody else's fault. And when you got that mentality, I had that mentality as a teenager. When I adopted, like, damn, I should have seen this. And when you adopt that mentality, you can keep it real with yourself. Your circle gonna get smaller if you got one. But hit the link in the description. Join the NBA Talk hit the NBA Talk playlist. Hit the link in the description. It's called the link tree. Say find me everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, the whole 9. Peace.